If you have any questions, just ask now. Now's the time to ask questions. Hey, how's it going? So, see how I went from here to here, right? Remember, I'm working off a center guideline, and I'm going to demonstrate right now as soon as I lower this music. Okay, so as I work, because I'm not going to leave this full, I'm not putting a lot of emphasis here. I'm starting primarily in this parietal region. This is considered the parietal region, okay? So I'm working my way up, and there is a guideline being followed. I am not just randomly cutting. When I come around this crown area, I stop. I pull up from here. I get to the crown region. I stop there and work my way back down again, working into another section. And as you notice, everything I'm doing is very systematic. As I come around to my patron's left side, I'm working my way up. Now I'll start to go back up to my guideline. Always be cognizant of this crown region. You cut this too short, it will stick up. And this is why you always, it's an advantage to cut, to do clipper over comb, clipper work with dry hair. So you can get an accurate idea of the C pattern. When we talk about C pattern, well, this is your C pattern. So the more hair, the more of a C you have. The more hair that's being cut or removed, the more you start to lose the C pattern, at which point the hair will stand up. When the hair is wet, it doesn't give an accurate account of what the C pattern really is. What's going on, Big Max? So here I am, working into my guideline, right? My center guideline. So, we started on, because I'm a right-hand barber, everything that I do, everything that I starts on the right-hand side of the patron. Then I work my way around. So now, I've completed the right side of the patron, the back, and the left side. Now, I'm going to go back to my top and make sure that everything is tied in. And if I pull this up, and if you zoom in close with your camera, you will see the symmetry. Very proportional, very even. So there is a guideline that is being followed. As one becomes more familiar, more comfortable with clipper over comb, the system will fall into place. It becomes second nature. So there we have it. We've completed our first stage of clipper over comb, our first stage of our system of siding, edging, topping. But in this case, we started topping, we're going to go into siding, then edging. So we've already completed one phase. Now, at this point, we are going to go into our siding phase. I'm going to commence with a number 2. 2 and 1.5 are always going to be our most universal metal blades. So as I start this, I'm going to start in this sideburn area. And remember, as I cut, I graduate away from the main body of the hair. What you don't want to do is do this and then that. Now we just created a whole nother step. That is what you don't want to do, because then you find yourself doing this. See? So this is why we don't do that. The correct way to do this is to start at the base, graduate away from the main body. See the difference? Hi, good morning. How you doing, Doobie? Come on in, dude. So now, at this point, I'm going to start tying this in, tying my siding in to in the parietal region to my main body. So when the proper strokes are implemented, the finishing work is very minimal. Obviously, when you're working with closer blades, it requires, more finished work. But when you're working with a 2, 1.5, and the system is followed correctly, it doesn't require as much finished work when working with closer blades. And then these angles here, just by doing this, and we're going to do it from the front as well. A lot of times you'll see a wedge here, and barbers struggle to blend this in because it's difficult to see it face on, in terms of the how much hair should be removed. So this is why looking at it from this angle and then coming back around and hitting it from this angle is a lot easier. Okay. So again, gauging my angle here, and I'm noticing that this side is still a little flared out, so I'm going to dial this in. I don't know if I can see it from that angle, so I'm going to turn it for you. You see the difference? So now we're in that stage. Now we're going to go into our siding. So Gustavo, he doesn't line up the front, but if he did, this is where I would start my lining process. I would start it from here, work my way down, and work around. Whatever clipper you use, you want to maximize its usage. So in certain times, you need to go back and grab that same clipper. But what you don't want to be doing is bouncing around, doing repeated steps, where one of the phases are not completed, and one is jumping to another phase and back and forth and back and forth. The next thing you know, you're into this haircut 45, 50 an hour sometimes. There's no excuse for it. There's no reason for it if you follow the system. When the system is followed, I don't care what haircut is being performed, 25, 30 minutes is more than ample time. Okay? Whether you're doing appointments, walk-ins, it doesn't matter. Customers do not want to be held hostage in the chair. It's a no-no. I mean, they do love the conversation and so forth, but they also don't want to have to sit in the chair for upwards of an hour. Okay. So, being that, before I start this, what I am going to do is go a little tighter in here, and I'm going to use one of my finishing clippers. I'm going to use the Magic Clip. This is great because it's light, it's easy to maneuver, and so I'm going to taper the sideburn area a little closer. With your index finger, protect the ear, come around the back if you like. Get a tighter appearance in here. Okay. And because I touched this, I'm going to go ahead and taper the back area as well while I have my adjustable in my hand. And I start off open. And this is basically the movement right here. So you're cutting, blending at the same time. When you run into these swirls like that, turn your clipper upside down get the hair to feed inside of the clipper, and then come back around. So once this has been established to this degree right here, then we can go into clipper over comb, using a closer attachment such as you have, whatever one is comfortable with. My attachment. Okay, so again, working my way around to the patient's left side. Tightening the sideburn area a little closer. So now we're going to go into the edging phase. Just saw when you want me to edge this in the front. Good morning, good morning. So you see how I protect the ear with the index finger, pull the hair down, trap it, and the little unruly hairs I trim in, then I come back and finish the arching. See, we're gonna, and you'll see a little bit of contrast in here that I'm going to come back and blend in a little bit more. Same thing, when you come to this side, take your thumb and comb, pull the hair down. If there's any unruly hairs, you'll catch them right here. Not many in this side. Okay. As I previously mentioned, we were going to do a little more finish work in this little area here. And it gets a little tricky because if you look at the growth pattern, it comes down, it swings around. So it's going, you know, a variety of different ways. And sometimes that can be very challenging. So you have to cross cut a little bit. One thing that you'll come to understand at some point is that the hair growth pattern isn't always vertical. It can be horizontal, it can turn multiple times before it reaches the bottom, such as this. It's coming this way, turning this way, coming back. So this is, you know, and that becomes very challenging when you're trying to get a nice, even blend. Okay, so now we're going to come back and cross check our topic. And we're going to do that with scissors. And when I say cross-check, we're literally just cross-checking. We're just checking for evenness. A little bit of unevenness there. So, as I previously mentioned, we are following the guideline. So the hair, regardless of the fact that we started off with clip roll or comb, should be relatively even for the most part. So it doesn't matter. I take any of these sections, if you zoom in, you will see there is a lot of symmetry, a lot of evenness, you know, very little unevenness. Okay? So I'm going to come back and just kind of shape this a little bit on this angle. Shape this side a little bit. So for the most part, everything is already been completed with flip over comb. Now, on occasion, we'll get a customer that comes in and says, you know, I like my haircut done entirely with scissors, and that's not a problem. We can do that, but that's a whole, you know, separate process. And even in the event that we were doing, or I was doing, an all-scissor haircut, I'm still within my phases of siding edge and topping. So. going to break them down. What I always do is I save the neck strip, fold it up neatly, take it, place it in my pocket, and then I'm going to go back and do that again when I apply the astringent. So before I do my arching with the razor, I'm going to break down the chair cloth, reapply it, and the whole purpose is to shake off the cutting to prevent hair going down the patron's neck, clothing, and so forth. This is all you need. You don't have to submerge your patron with lather. And just like this, you have these two fingers that are available, and you just come right around the edges so everything remains nice and neat. Okay? Whenever your razor is not in use but is being used, you always want to leave it placed in a wet receptacle with barbicide or some other form of disinfectant. I prefer the level 3s. They're easier. They're easy to insert and remove the razor. Whenever we need to discard the razor, and typically it's after each usage on customer. So here we are with the back of your thumb. You can remove the lather, any excess lather, and then proceed with the arch. Now, when we want to get closer, you can reverse the razor. Basically, we're going against the grain. And then when we come to the patron's left side, we come in with the reverse backhand. Now, we apply the astringent on the neck strip that we removed. That way it keeps everything sanitary, and we apply it around all the edges that we just completed. Okay? Now, typically, the solvent does not put, where gel or any other grooming agent. He likes to keep it natural. So, but one thing that always has to be done at the end of the haircut is the grooming. You always want to make sure that the patron is well groomed. And so after combing them with the brush, I noticed that this side is still flaring out a little bit. So that is a minor adjustment. I'm going to stand behind it, excuse me. And I'm going to dial this in freehand. And I'm going to hit the little unruly hairs that are up on top based on his texture.
Like that? I want shorter. Here. Shorter?
Okay. Any questions?
You want spiky? You want spiky?
All good? Okay. Great. Well, that completes this demonstration.
Hey Rob, I have a question. So like, even though he doesn't line up the front, can you like flip over comb like the front just to make
You
like a little
can,
nice?
right in here,
Yeah.
and that's a great point. Absolutely. Or you can comb it, you know what I mean? You can do this and this and this. It just depends how you groom it. But me, knowing Gustavo, that's why I don't do it. Or I would have asked him, as well as if the patron had long eyebrows, would you like me to trim your eyebrows and so forth. So, but that's why acclimating with your customer, your client, is very important. And that all comes through consultation, and also, it's a plus when it's a Okay?